Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and if you are new here, hey, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing, and if you're back, welcome back. I apologize in advance for my froggy voice. Yes, my kids shared their cough and cold bug with me, and I am still a bit sick. So I'm on the mend, but that's why you're gonna hear me sounding a bit froggy tonight. Also, this is going to be a WIP and Chat. WIP stands for work in progress and chat stands for chat. So feel free to whip out your WIP. My husband and my cat have whipped out some snacks and are munching in the background. So there's some ASMR for you. I am actually going to be kitting up a kit instead of actually working on a kit. And you guys, I promise I did not do this on purpose. I swear that I was not like, I'm going to give people 2 kit up and chats in a row. It just is how the timing worked out. And I was really hoping that I was going to have this kitted up and actually be able to start on it with you guys tonight. But I did a lot of napping today instead. Just so I hope you'll forgive me, but at least this week's kitting up is not going to be like a secret. So I decided my next kit is going to be Midnight Spell by Carissa Bug. Look at how cute this is. Okay, but the derpy white kitty is my favorite thing ever. I love it so much. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. So, I am gonna, let's open these up and let's kind of get started. So how are you guys doing? Look at this giant bag of diamonds. So this kit has 59 colors. Oop, I just scared the heck out of my cat. Okay. Ooh, I got like a little whiff of something when I open that. Okay, let's do this. So if you watched last week, I talked a little bit through my process about, oh man, I like really scared my cat away. Okay. I talked through my process of like how I like cut out my diamond packets and kind of roughly put them in piles and stuff like that. So I'm basically gonna be doing kind of the same sort of thing tonight, except I need to make this more manageable. Okay. All right, so we've got, okay, you know what? We're just gonna go for it. How are you guys doing? I hope that your day, your week is off to a wonderful start so far. It is Sunday evening. I'm still going to try to get this uploaded for you guys for tomorrow morning, since I have firmly established that Monday mornings are my WIP and Chat days. And I feel like you guys will send out an SOS if you don't see one from me. 3371. But I had a full weekend that I'll tell you a little bit more about in just a little bit. But so I have been trying, as far as like my drills and chills kits go, especially, I've been trying really hard to alternate, like to give you guys a lot of variety as far as what company I'm working on and like what roughly theme I'm working on. I might have said this last week. My memory is not the best, but like I have so many witchy kits that I was like, well, I want to try to alternate my witchy kits with my non-witchy kits. So I just finished up, hold on a second, 413, that's a lot of 413, dang. I had finished up, what did I work on before this? Remember what I said about my memory, you guys? It's a problem. I did that Puffy Gator. Oh, today this morning I finished Hades and Persephone from DIY Moon Shop. And so I was like, okay, well that was a non-witch kit. So now I'm going to switch over to a witchy kit, which is where we are today. So I have a lot of witchy kits in my stash just because there's a lot of really cute witch artwork out there. But yeah, this is one of the kits that was part of was this part of the anniversary releases from Diamond Art Club? I'm pretty sure it was. So, oh, excuse me for yawning. That's gonna happen. And I got this one as one of my sneak peeks for that week. And I was like, I totally think I'm gonna work on this for drills and chills. I'm discovering that Carissa Bug is one of my favorite artists. Like I really, really, really love her artwork a lot, and I have a lot of it. And I think that the way that Diamond Art Club renders it is super cute too, so that's fun. In a bigger kit like this one's 70 by 89 centimeters. Chances are good that I won't be able to fit all of these diamonds into one Elizabeth Ward tray. So usually then what I end up doing is I just fit as much as I can. And then like some of them, like this 413 that we have like 5 or 6 bags of, I'll just like fill up one of the largest containers with as many of those as I can. And then otherwise I just have like a little tote that I put all of the leftover baggies that didn't fit into, and then I just refill from there as I go, because I really like to have just one Elizabeth Ward tray out, if I can, as opposed to having multiple. Hold on. Oh, yeah, it's a 900. But yeah, I'm not seeing as much static on these diamonds, so hopefully I'm not going to have a fight ahead of me the way that I did last week. Man, the diamonds on that kit were rough. I definitely am sending Diamond Art Club some feedback because the static was so rough. And some of them were kind of sticking together a little bit. Like did they get packaged before the resin had fully cured or something? So I'm seeing a lot of people posting about that sort of thing in the VIP group. So I'm guessing they're aware, but I also just want to like reiterate and reinforce, like, you guys, this is like, no, for real, this was rough. And hopefully that's something that's, fixable. So, I would imagine it would be, but yeah, that kit, that Puffy Gator kit, all those beautiful pinks and reds, ended up being basically a 48-hour kit for me. I kitted it up with you guys on Saturday or Sunday night and finished it up 2 nights later. It was small though, like it was 42 by 42 centimeters ish, and had a lot of color blocking in the background, so it just went fast. Like I completely put Hades and Persephone on hold and just like blitzed through that kit real quick. It was super cute. Oops, sorry to hit the recording arm there. And I am hoping that we're going to see more Puffy Gator soon, so fingers crossed. All right, let's start with the 100s. We're starting out with our ABs right off the bat. This one has 4 ABs. Nice. Okay. It's not like huge amounts of ABs in the whole thing, but it's like a decent amount. So let me get my little trash space ready and make some space in here. I don't really know how many of these like bigger containers I'm going to use, because I really need to be able to try to fit as many of these 59 colors as I can here in this little crate here. So we'll start with that. So number 1, we can use the smallest container. Anyway, hi, I miss chatting with you guys, even though I feel like I've gotten to hang out with you quite often lately. We got to do an impromptu live on Saturday night, which is last night for me. I apologize that I didn't give anyone really notice. It was sort of a spur of the moment decision. I'll talk more about that soon too, but I really enjoyed getting to do that, and I was kind of like, man, I didn't know if people were really going to show up for a Saturday Night Live, but you guys totally did. But more on that and the fun of the weekend in just a bit. But first, I was going to talk more just about like sort of the stuff I've gotten to do this week, content-wise and whatnot. So I have been having so much fun with the comments on this week's Drills and Chills video, which, yes, if you're curious and like giveaways, go and check out that video. But the question that I asked, I'm having so much fun with the responses. Like, it was a little bit of like a throwaway question. It was one of those things where I was filming and I was like, oh shoot, like I need to give people something to talk about, to kind of enter for giveaways or whatever. So it was sort of like, oh, let's just do like, here's the question. And so it's really funny because then people are talking about, like, and I don't really care that I'm quasi giving it away here because it was just so much fun. People were talking about like who their different like favorite villains were in the comments. And I was so tickled at like some of the obscure references that people were pulling out. Like I was even like grabbed my husband Adam. I was like, "You're so gonna appreciate this." I was like, "There's more than one person that like referenced like a Star Trek villain that they love," and there were people like probably knowing that I love Supernatural, possibly that mentioned like some Supernatural villains, but. One of my favorite parts is that so many people were like, well, technically, like, this person was kind of like a villain, but one of the things I love most about them is that they were like either a sympathetic character or they even like they switch, like they flip sides and stuff like that. And I was like, it's the complex characters that we're all drawn to, and especially like the villains that it's like, are they really a villain though? Like I realized after that video, I was like, okay, like I rushed through that a bit. Loki is, you know, I don't know if you would really call him a villain, like especially in some of the earlier movies, he was the antagonist, but you know, he's a much more complex character than that. And so it was, you know, I was like, shoot, like I'm giving Loki a bad rap here, being like, oh, he's my favorite villain. I'm like, I should have just said he's my favorite like Marvel character in general, but I was trying to stick with the theme because there's like a really strong association between villains and Halloween. Okay, I'm trying to figure out if I can fit this second bag in here. I don't think I can, but I really want to try. Do you ever go like, I'm going to try to defy physics? Physics. If you get that reference, you're my new best friend. Okay, I'm going to try this just because. Physics. That's another show I really, really need to rewatch, actually. And we got HBO Max, so I need to rewatch it. This is not going to fit. This is totally not going to fit. Katie, why are you the way that you are? Okay, we'll just grab the next biggest container. I was trying not to, like, branch into the bigger containers already, but it's fine. It's fine. Let's just make a mess. The good news is I'm not running into static. But yeah, like Loki even, especially after, I think like after, spoiler alert, I mean, the movie's been out forever at this point, but like after Infinity War, like when he sacrificed himself and stuff, like he started getting like a display in the, like a spot in the Hall of Heroes. And so it was like, oh, well, like even Marvel's technically considering him a hero. And he's very much more like a heroic character in like his TV series and stuff. So I was like, okay, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that he was a villain. But, like, no, that comment section has been so much fun, and I feel like legitimately has gotten some of the most participation of my Drills and Chills videos so far. I'm like, people like to talk about villains. Lots of people saying things like Ursula and Maleficent, which I will say, just for me, like, those are not villain characters that tend to have a real draw for me personally. But they have a huge draw to a lot of people. So, by the way, I don't know if you noticed when I was taking the lid off of this, like opening it, this is something that happens, okay, specifically with the off-brand containers, I find is, okay, so there's the Elizabeth Ward brand of these containers, and then there's like this brand, I'm blanking on the name of it, that you can get from like AliExpress, and sometimes they sell it at like Joann's or Michael's or something, some of those hobby stores. It's not the Elizabeth Ward brand. It's like the off-brand that gets sold. And the off-brand ones, I find that the lid, like when I go to open it and like pull it back, of course now it's not going to do it, but like this pops out super, super, super easily. And the actual Elizabeth Ward branded ones, like let's see, is this one? Yeah, like this is an Elizabeth Ward brand, and I'm like pulling on it and it doesn't want to come out. So there is a difference for sure. The non-Elizabeth Ward brands are cheaper, but like that's one of my main complaints with them is like, oh, the lid just pops right out. Some people will turn around and say like, oh, the Elizabeth Ward brand ones, like they're really stiff. They're like hard to open. And I would be like, you just have to break them in. Like you just have to like bend them a couple of times, like break the seal or whatever. And then I think the Elizabeth Ward ones are magical. But yeah, the Elizabeth Ward ones don't just slide right out, but the off-brand, it's like all floppy doofus. I love that word. Anyway, so yeah, if you haven't gone over and and talked about your favorite villain yet, you really should go do that because it is so much fun. And like I said, a lot of like obscure characters. Like I haven't watched The Walking Dead, but a couple of people were talking about Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character in The Walking Dead, which was fun. And it was just a fun time. So okay. Do I want to roll the dice again? No, I don't think I can. I can't fit that other bag in there. I'm not going to try. I know I can't. Okay. That's going to go in the save pile. Yeah. So other things, I was really proud of myself, you guys. I was so happy that I finally got up my converting a pin into a cover minder video. Though I felt so silly because someone came into the comments and had some really, really helpful and amazing suggestions for things like, oh, if you like fold a paper towel over it, then the metal piece doesn't go flying and you don't have to go hunting it down after you're done. And things like, you know, they found that their magnets stuck better if they sanded it. And they're like, oh, if I sand it like this, it helped. And then I think they were worried that they were going to come off like, maybe not. I think I'm projecting. But I was like, oh my gosh, that's so helpful. Like, thank you so, so much for sharing. I should really go back and pin that comment. So I was like, clearly my video is like super, super, super newbie. Like I didn't try to like perfect my, my process at all. I was just kind of like, this is just the quick and easy way to do this, I guess. But I was really appreciative that someone came in and shared from their own experience. I thought that was really nice. But yeah, that was kind of on my list. I was like, I'd really, really like to be able to squeeze this particular video in if I can. And then I finally had like a free morning. And I had like the spoons to do it. I was like the night before, I was like, I have the energy. I'm totally going to make it happen. This was a good week as far as having more energy goes, which is really funny because I was sick. I've been sick since Monday. I keep testing negative for the thing. And I probably should give my doctor a call tomorrow because I'm having lots of sinus pressure and it's been going on for a week and stuff. I'm like, I think this might be a sinus infection at this point because it's, okay, can that fit? I think that can fit. Why do I do this to myself? I was like, I'm pretty sure that this may be turning into a sinus infection, so I might need to call my doctor. Oh my gosh, you guys, why am I the way that I am? I need a little baggie to put the rest of those in. Okay, hold on. I'll grab this toolkit. But yeah, the kids shared their bug with me. They missed some school, and I have felt under the weather, but I'm getting there. I'm trying to bounce back. Really trying to bounce back. It's mostly, like I said, I just have all of this sinus pressure. My ears feel like really stopped up. And I've tried like Sudafed and like antihistamines, like allergy meds, and it's not really doing a lot for me. So, yeah, I'm just kind of waiting. I should just call and be like, okay, at what point do I go? This is gonna need a little extra help to get over this. Yeah, let me talk to you guys about the weekend. So, this past weekend, I got to see friends. I got to meet a lot of online friends, and I didn't plan for it to be like, oh, it's all going to be in the same weekend. It just worked out that way. A little while back, Jade and Christiane had messaged that they were going to be in the area, and then around the same time, Miranda messaged and was like, hey, like, I'm going to be down there for a concert, like, no pressure, but do you want to meet up? And I was like, yeah, totally. And the timing just worked out that it was like, I got to see Miranda on Friday and then Jade and Christiane on Saturday. So Miranda is diamond painting with the besties. She has a YouTube channel. She is so sweet. She and I think we probably started diamond painting around the same time in like 2020. We both have YouTube channels, and I think just have like a lot in common in terms of like just our I don't know, like our personalities, our kind of like chill approach to stuff or whatever. So she was going to a concert that was really not far at all from me, and was like, okay, well, Friday, why don't we do like an early lunch? I was like, that's perfect, because Adam is working from home on Friday, so he can get the kids off the bus, and I can come and, you know, meet up for a couple hours. And so I threw some suggestions her way, because I was kind of like, you know, here's some ideas for places that are in the area, like some, you know, somewhere between like you and me. And because I was like, okay, well, you're in I mean, she lives in California. She lives in like Central California. And I was like, so I don't know if you're like, I'm in Southern California, there's a specific cuisine that I want. But I was like, here's a Mexican place, here's a pizza place, like here's kind of a American, you know, catch-all place. And we ended up going for pizza. It's really good pizza, actually. And we just sat and chatted, and it was very chill and easy. And I was laughing because I was like, it's so funny. I'm a child of the 90s, and that was like all about like internet safety. It was like, don't tell people your real name, like strangers on the internet, stranger danger, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like calling up my mom, like, hey, I'm meeting up in person with a friend from the internet who knows all this information about me. She's like, okay, be safe. So that was just really amusing to me, that it's like, oh, how the things change. So you know what? I need to be more judicious about what containers I'm using, or I'm gonna run out of space in here. Okay, let's do this differently. We're gonna plan to save more of these. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna fit all these colors in here, or else. But yeah, so I got to hang out with Miranda on Friday. Go check out her channel. She's super sweet, like I said, and she's always doing lots of like fun unboxings and stuff. And then, now I know she talked about this, like she said as much publicly in multiple places, including on our live. But Christiane had an audition at Disneyland, and she's not sharing like what the specifics of it were, but she had an audition like to join the cast member team at Disneyland. And I was like, well, Disneyland's like 15-20 minutes from me, so perfect. And Jade doesn't live that far from me either, so Christiane like came down on I think Friday, and like spent the night at Jade's, and then Jade drove her down for the audition. And then we were talking about getting together, and I was like, well, Adam might have like a film thing that night. Do you guys just want to come over to my place? Is that weird? Like, do you think I'm a serial killer, or is that going to be okay? Are you comfortable? Like, if you're not comfortable coming to my place, I completely understand. We can just like meet up out or whatever. And they're like, oh no, that'd be fun. Cool to come to your place. I'm like, Jade already has my address because I buy kits from her and stuff. Like, I don't know. Just, again, the differences in internet safety choices from when we were growing up to now. So they came over, and they were actually here for most of like the day on Saturday. It wasn't really most of the day, I guess. It was like from mid-afternoon on. And we all talked about it after, just saying how, you know, you aren't really sure necessarily. Like when you meet up with someone that you only know like in a certain context, like you only know them online, and then you spend time with them like in person. It's like, is this gonna be awkward, or is this gonna be comfortable? Like, what's the vibe gonna be? Is it gonna feel like we're making small talk or whatever? And I'm thinking like, is it gonna be like weird that like my kids are just gonna be running around, and I'm gonna be like parenting while hanging and all of that. And it wasn't. It was very, very, very relaxed and comfortable. And like Adam was even coming over and chatting with us, and I think we were all it just felt very, very chill. And as an introvert with social anxiety, that was nice. It was like, oh no, this is totally fine. And there was like lots of silliness and lots of laughing, and like it was actually adorable because I swear, less than 5 minutes after Christiane walked in, Micah decided that like she was his favorite and was like just cuddling up to her and being like all affectionate. To be fair, she had a sticker on with numbers, because I assume that was like her audition number or whatever. And Micah loves letters and numbers and reading and all that. So I'm like, that was probably like the bait. Like she wore the numbers. And Micah was like, ooh, numbers. You're my new best friend. But it was really cute. She was really, really charmed by it. And, you know, Connor doesn't know a stranger. He was happy to just like chat with both of them. And we hung out and we got Chipotle for dinner. And then it was funny because they had a plan for like, oh, what if Katie's too nice to tell us that like she wants us to leave? Like if we pick up that it seems like she wants us to go. And meanwhile, I'm like, you know, as we're getting closer to the kids' bedtimes, I'm like, do you guys want to just like stay and we can hang out and maybe even like go live after the kids go to bed? And they're like, are you sure? Like, yeah, that would be super, super fun. Like, yeah, let's do it. Like, stay over and like we can hang out. I was like, I don't know how late I'm gonna last. Like, I'm probably gonna be ready for bed before, you know, not gonna be able to stay up all night, but like, yeah, no, let's totally hang out and go live. And so that's when it was literally like, I don't know, 7:30 or something, and I was like, okay, it's a little late to like put up some kind of like post or announcement. I'm just gonna like throw together a quick thumbnail and like I'll just schedule it and hopefully it'll show up for some people when they open YouTube, and hopefully some people will get a notification. We had like kicked around the idea like really casually in passing, like, do we want to go live or something, you know, that kind of thing, like ahead of time, but we didn't nail anything down. I think because we all just kind of wanted to play it by ear. I wasn't sure like if my kids were gonna feel like thrown by having people over for so long, if they were gonna have trouble like sleeping. You know, I live in a really small space, and I was like, if we go live, like that could potentially like keep them up. Spoiler, it didn't. My kids are good sleepers, and they weren't thrown at all. They were totally fine. So that's why no one had advance notice. I'm sorry, but if you made it or if you watched the replay, I hope you had fun. We all showed our faces, and Jade shared some like fun things that are coming to her shop, and I was appreciative that they like it was funny that like I had just said something like, I tried to be nice about it, but I was like, I'm pretty sure that they're already gonna have thought of this, but I'm still gonna say it anyway. Just, I was like, you know, we try not to like use a lot of colorful language in front of my kids. So I was like, just FYI, like, I'm not, you know, I'm not shy about like a well-placed F-bomb or innuendo. I tend to think less is more, because then it's like way funnier for shock value and stuff like that. But then it was like, even going live, I was like, well, it's gonna be like late night for, you know, people in the US and stuff. So if it gets like a little silly, that's okay. But like, I just am not one to tend to go like full blown, like raunchy, inappropriate. Like, that's just not my own personal jam. But, it wasn't even a thing. Like, we were just having fun, like just exactly as it was. So yay, that was fun. And I was like, I hope that Christiane gets the job, because it would be so fun if she, you know, moved into the area. And then Jade is nearby, so like she's definitely going to be stuck seeing me again. But it's fun. Like, I saw in the Diamond Art Club, I think it was the Diamond Art Club VIP group, that there was a group of people that I think they called themselves like the recliner group or something like that. This like group of women, I think they said they were in San Antonio, Texas, and they were getting together and just diamond painting like all in these recliners together, which I thought was just so charming and so sweet. And they've posted like 2 different pictures at 2 different times now, like different weekends that they've gotten together and just hung out and diamond painted, like in their recliners with their like inclined lap desks and stuff. And I'm like, that sounds so much fun. Like, if you can find like people local to you that diamond paint, man, I feel like it's worth it to try and like see like, okay, is this gonna work like socially? Like, is this gonna be weird or is it gonna be fun? And I don't know, maybe you'll find some new friends. It also makes me go, I wish I lived so much closer to so many people too. Sorry, I'm trying to make space because I'm like, I gotta make sure that I'm using the smallest containers possible if I'm gonna fit these, because I got a little excited about using bigger containers over there. I gotta fit 59 colors in here. So that was my weekend, and it was really, really funny because I didn't feel exhausted or like out of energy or out of spoons like at the time at all. Like I was very much like, this was so much fun. Like I'm not feeling like, oh my gosh, you have to leave because I'm so tired. I was like, this was just a blast. Like, thank you guys for hanging out, and I had so much fun. But then like I fell asleep and crashed so hard. And then this morning, like the next morning, so that was Saturday, and then today's Sunday. So this morning I like it was so hard. I had to drag myself out of bed at like, it was like 10:30 or 11 o'clock. I had gone to bed like, I don't know, 12, 1, something like that. And I just was apparently so tired that my body was just like, no, you need more sleep. So if you think that introverts like aren't really truly introverts, like that it's not like literally a way that your brain works and how it ties into like your physical energy, it's totally a thing. And it doesn't mean that I wish I wouldn't have been social, or that I wish that I had been social for a shorter amount of time. Like, no, I would not change a single thing. It just means that like that took all my spoons, and it was tiring for my body over the weekend. And again, just in case Christine and Jade are listening, in particular, anyone else I've socialized with, like it's not a bad thing. It's just like, okay, well then I knew that like Sunday was going to be a laid back day because I had been super social on Friday and Saturday. But it's intriguing because I feel like sometimes extroverts think introverts are just being like selfish with their time, or just being like high maintenance or overly sensitive or something. I just want to be like, no, it's not just a like, I don't want to be around people. That's not what introverts are thinking. I mean, some of the time that's what we're thinking, but like in this case, it wasn't. It was I have an energy bank. I have a tank. I have a fuel tank with a limited amount of fuel in it that I have to use when I am social. And when it's gone, then it's gone. Or if I tap into the reserves, or if I go over, I'm gonna pay for it later. But so yeah, there's not that I took it pretty easy today as a result. It was so worth it. But I have to find a balance, because I'm like, I want to have a social life. I want to spend time with my friends, but I have to balance it with how my body is going to respond, I guess. So, so that was the weekend. It was so good. I'm like, let's do it again. I even showed my face in a live, which is not something I usually do. But, other things that happened this week. Well, let me get a drink of water first, because I'm getting real thirsty here. Are you noticing the lovely lack of static? Like, I've had 1 or 2 bags, I've had a little bit, but this is pretty tame. I'm glad, by the way. Thank you to everyone that reassured me. I was gonna say thank you to everyone that reassured me, like, oh no, the crinkling wasn't that bad in last week's WIP and Chat, because I was fighting static so badly. And I was like, I'm really excited that so many people reassured me. But like, with the people that were like, oh my gosh, that crinkling was driving me nuts, like, would they really have said anything? No, they just would have clicked away. So I'm glad most of you made it. But I'm glad that this one is going a little bit easier. I'm trying to remember, because it's been a while since I unboxed this one. I don't remember how much color blocking there is, but I hope that I don't get too bored of all the dark colors at the top. I'm hoping there's some color blocking there that's going to keep it moving. I guess we'll find out. Anyway, other things that have been going on this week. So, Connor was totally fine. He was back at school, and not sick. Like, he recovered really quickly. He is not happy about going to school. He's totally going through a phase where he's whining about going to school and stuff. And so we're trying to help him through that, help him try to have a little bit more positive mindset about it and stuff. But I think this is also partially just like the reality of kids is that you don't like going to school. You just look forward to summer vacation and stuff. But thankfully, like, he didn't stay sick at all for long. He has just like a 48-hour bug. Micah, on the other hand, so we had gotten sent home from school on Friday so a week and a half ago Friday. And then I was like, okay, like, we'll keep him home over the weekend. Like, for Connor, it was just 48-hour bug. So Micah should be, have the whole weekend to recover. He should be fine to go back on Monday. No, he was at school on Monday for like less than an hour when I got a call, and they're like, he's just acting like he's super, super tired. His nose is running like crazy, and he's coughing a little bit still. And so we're going to need you to come and pick him up. And so I went back and picked him up, and talked a little bit to the nurse. She's like, well, the protocols have changed. And she's like, so he, they're not like making him basically like stay home and get like a doctor's note and stuff. It doesn't sound like. She said, but he can't come back to school until it's like more easily like managed, which I was like, I get what you're saying. Like, he's not using tissues really. I mean, he's 4 and he has some special needs. Like, he just doesn't really get the concept or anything. And he hates when people come for his face and stuff. So he's just like wiping at his running nose. And I was just telling him, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I swear his nose was not running, like, when we got up this morning. But then again, it's such a small window of time. Like, I get him out of bed and we're on the bus within 10 minutes because it's, it's so early. I'm trying to let him sleep as long as possible. But I felt so guilty. I was like, great. Like, the schools had to call me 2 days in a row to come pick up my kid because I sent him when I shouldn't have. Even if I swear, like, I wasn't intentionally sending a too sick kiddo to school or a sick kiddo to school. So I was like, okay, we're keeping him home for sure on Tuesday. And I was like, we're going to play this like really super, super safe. And so I kept him home on Tuesday. And then I wasn't like totally confident about how he was like acting and stuff, like his nose and stuff by the end of the day Tuesday. I was like, you know what, we're just gonna keep him home on Wednesday too, and hopefully he can go back on Thursday. So I had Micah home with me basically 3 mornings this week, which, as I always say, is the very selfish part of me will react to me like, oh man, like, I really look forward to having these mornings to be able to get stuff done, to just be able to have like a little bit of a breather and all of this. And like, I don't get that when Micah's home from school, but at the same time, it's like, Katie, like, stop. Like, obviously you don't want to be sending a sick kiddo to school. And like, what's more important is that, he's healthy and you're lucky to be able to stay home with him. And this isn't like a deal breaker, a financial deal breaker for your family, Could this have fit in the smaller one? No. Okay. So then he went back to school on Thursday and was fine, but then he like had an allergic reaction to something. He was playing outside like in our backyard, which then something like, I guess, nibbled on him, and his skin is so sensitive. It's like if you look at it sideways, it gets red. So his teacher sent me a message on Thursday morning, and it wasn't a come pick up your kiddo. It was like, did you notice this like red mark on the back of his neck that looks like a welt? And I was like, yeah, I think that he just had an allergic reaction to, he was literally playing in the dirt, like this little dirt patch in our backyard. He was digging in it, like with the construction vehicles and the rocks and stuff, but then he was kind of like sitting in it at one point, and yeah, I was like, I don't know. And we joked that he's allergic to school. I actually really, really, really like his teacher. She's very sweet. She's very level-headed, and I feel like she's a really good fit for Micah and for me. So I was really appreciative that like she kept me up to date. Thursday was also rough because I was like, well, Adam, you're getting up for early to like go into the office anyway. Like, can you go ahead and try getting Micah ready for school so I can get some sleep, because I'm feeling sick and it would just be really nice to be able to do that and all that. Well, Micah like is apparently just going through a really really rigid phase where he just is not having it when we change his routine too much on him. And so Micah was so upset that Adam was getting him ready and not me, and I was feeling very torn, like do I go ahead and jump back in because like what is happening is like not working and he's really upset, or is that going to be like, is that going to be worse in the long run? Because then he's going to think like, oh, if I just get like really upset, then I get what I want. And so I'm not actually really happy with how I handled that. I did the best that I could at the time, especially given that I was, you know, groggy and I was just feeling sick, and I just don't feel like I was firing on all cylinders. But he was crying just super hard getting on the bus because Adam was the one that put him on the bus, and I felt absolutely terrible. And I sent a message to his teacher and was like, hey, just FYI, like Micah got really upset because Adam got him ready for school and on the bus instead of me. And so I was like, can you just let me know like when he gets to school and if he settles down okay? Because I'm thinking like, you know, I'm picturing that he's just going to be like distraught all morning and that it's going to completely have thrown a wrench in his whole entire day. And thankfully, no, like really shortly after he got to school, his teacher sent me a picture and he was happily like doing a puzzle, and his face, you know, it didn't look like he'd been crying or was upset or anything. And then Adam and I debriefed after and was like, okay, so clearly like this trying to, I don't know, like go cold turkey and force it like isn't gonna work. So let's try to approach this differently. But Micah has just been like a stage 5 clinger with me the past week or two. Like he used to be like, he's mostly been like daddy's boy, like super cuddly and most affectionate towards Adam, which I think is so adorable and I love it. He still very much is affectionate towards me, but like he has a very special relationship with Adam and it's so sweet. But it's just like the past week or two, he's turned into like he really wants me to do everything and is like getting mad sometimes at Adam when Adam tries to, and I just am like, okay, guess I need to be on like all the time, which just as a stay-at-home mom can get kind of exhausting to like feel like you just have to be on, especially when your kids like really strongly preferring you over your partner. Like, oh man. So I was just feeling like, okay, I'm just gonna, let's just breathe. Like it's gonna be fine. All right, here's all the 3000s. I just kind of put in a big pile over here. So we need 3000 and 33. There we go. But yeah, so I just am kind of like, maybe it's a like part of the back to school transition for Micah. You know, we've noticed this with Connor when Connor was around this age, that it would feel like the first couple of weeks back to school would go like almost deceptively well, almost like it was like the novelty and the fun of it and all of that. But then somewhere around the 2.5 to 3.5 week mark, the novelty was gone. Your body starts to adjust to that sleep schedule and go like, okay, yeah, no, this is maybe not quite enough sleep and all that. And we just remember like Connor kind of having these little mini regressions, like after 2.5 to 3.5 weeks after the school year would start, you know, he would start to have like some more like acting out behaviors or be like more clingy and stuff. So we're kind of like, maybe that's probably what's happening with Micah right now. Still really exhausting, but hopefully that means that this is like a phase and that this too shall pass. So two kids in school. We're still kicking around. We're still kind of waiting to see if things may open up that Micah might be able to switch to the later morning program instead of the early, because I think he really would benefit from getting a bit more sleep in the mornings. But how many do I have left to do? Okay, we're gonna go with the smallest container. This will fit in the smallest container. I really want to be able to fit all these colors without this being a huge headache. Yeah, just to be safe. But hopefully, with any luck, maybe this week will be a little bit more normal, knock on wood, as far as schedule goes. Hopefully I'll be able to get back to doing some more filming in the mornings if they're in school and taking care of errands and stuff like that. I need to call and make some doctor's appointments for myself. I've had some tooth pain, just some general jaw and toothaches, but I think that's more related to my cold, actually, because I'm having all this sinus pressure. I think that that's translating into pain in my jaw and my teeth, because that's a thing. But I haven't been to the dentist in a few years at this point. Maybe 1 or 2 years. I really need to go. I probably have cavities, because even though I brush my teeth every day, it's just, I have really terrible teeth. So I need to do that and just take care of stuff. I talked a lot last week about executive dysfunction and my struggles with that, and I shared about that Facebook group. I'm really glad that a lot of you seem to find that helpful. I hope you enjoy it as much as I have been, and I had really what felt like more of a productive week. There were a couple of days, again, really funny because I was sick. Why did I suddenly feel like I have the energy to do X, Y, and Z? But I ordered a couple of things from Amazon to help make organizing my life a little bit easier. I have just a giant stack of statements and receipts and bills and just paperwork in general that it's we need to save this, and I usually save it in those expandable folders, accordion style folders or whatever, and I just have one of those for each year because they usually have 12 or 13 pockets in them. But I have a year and a half worth of stuff that I need to organize, but I felt like I had the energy to be okay, let me look and see how far back these go. How many of these little binders do I need to order? So I was able to do that and ordered those. I also needed to order some hanging files so that I could sort through, I literally, you guys, I'm telling you, I have a stack of the various things that the kids brought home from school, literally for all last school year, that I want to sort through and figure out okay, what are the few things that I want to save? And I already have these little hanging file boxes that I picked up from Sam's Club a year ago, but I didn't have the actual hanging files to put in them. And just during the course of the actual school year, I was I don't want to sort through and try to pick out which stuff I want to save. I'm just stuffing it in the pile to deal with later. So now I just feel for whatever reason, probably in part because of the change of the seasons, it was starting to get cooler. Now it's in the 90s again this week. I just am feeling okay, I feel these are some projects that I can maybe tackle. I did try this trick that I saw in the Neurodivergent Cleaning Crew Facebook group where someone was I just got a couple of bins, and she was I got one large basket and a set of small baskets, and all I did was go, okay, I'm gonna go all around this room, pick a room, the living room or the kitchen or the bedroom or whatever. She's go all around the room with your big basket and put anything that doesn't belong in that space goes in the big basket. And then you take the big basket to a space to sort out, and you have enough little baskets that like go to each of the rooms in your house. So it's like if you go through your living room and you put all the stuff that does not belong there into the big basket, and then you take it over to sort through, and you have a basket that's for your bathroom, a basket that's for your bedroom, a basket that's for the kitchen, and you sort the stuff from the big basket into the smaller baskets, and then you just take each of the smaller baskets to the room that they go to. And you don't even have to necessarily like sort them and like put everything away right then and there, but then you've cleaned up one room of the stuff that it doesn't belong there. And so I had one of those moments where in this case, I just grabbed a big laundry basket. This was actually in anticipation of Jade and Christiane coming over, and they were like, don't worry about it, you don't need to clean. I was like, no, I really want to do some tidying up. I'm going to use this as an excuse. So I went around with a laundry basket, just basically around the downstairs, and just went around and put everything in that laundry basket that was supposed to go upstairs. You guys, I am not kidding when I say I had some stuff in piles, like on high shelves outside of Micah's reach and stuff that had literally been sitting there for months that I knew needed to go upstairs, but it was like little Lego pieces or like a watch or all this other stuff, and it had just ended up in a pile up on this shelf. And I just kept being like, oh, I'm gonna have to find a time to like take all these like little pieces up. But no, you know what I did? I just brought down this big laundry basket and I just dumped everything into that basket, and I was like, I will sort this out later. It's gonna sit at the top of the steps. At least it's in the right spot. That all really does not fit in that container. Gosh darn it. Okay, need another little baggie. And so that's what I did. and I felt so good about that. I was like, well, this is, I got this accomplished, and I feel like, okay, maybe this is one of those tricks that maybe this will work for me. At least for the time being. So it's finding like the littlest ways, I think, to like almost hack your brain into doing things that it just keeps going like, this is too difficult. And I also came across a post that someone had shared that it was specific to people that have like ADHD, which I don't, but I struggle with a lot of similar kinds of things. And it was talking about this process they called it June bugging. And it was saying like, don't try to make it about like, I'm going to clean the whole bathroom. It was like, pick something really specific. Pick a spot that's going to be the spot that you just keep coming back to. So it's like, say you're going to pick the bathroom sink, and you're like, I'm just going to clean up the bathroom sink. Like, that's it. And it's okay if you get like sidetracked into doing like different kinds of things, but you're always going to always come back to the bathroom sink. And it joked and was like, you know, neurotypical people like will see this and it might drive them crazy. And if someone were to ask you like, well, when are you going to be done? You're going to be like, I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. Let me live my life as I'm cleaning. And it was like, it's just this way of, you know, you just focus on the one thing, and all of the cascading effect things that tend to happen when you try to clean and you're like, oh, well, I noticed that, shoot, I need to go get like a new sponge, and that's downstairs, but then I have to like cut open this bag. I have to organize this space so I can get to the sponge. It's all of the domino effect things that happen. Like, it's okay if those things happen, because you just have a really small space that you're limiting yourself to. Like, I'm always going to come back to this space. I don't know if I explained that very well, but I liked the concept. It was like, instead of going, I'm going to tackle the whole bathroom, it was like, just pick a specific thing that you're going to clean up, and then it's going to feel less overwhelming when all of the like domino effect stuff that you notice and have to take care of, like when that happens. It made sense for my brain. And I'm sure that if you struggle with the same things that I do, it'll make sense for yours too. But I really liked that. So that was a really long tangent. I guess this is just going to turn into like the segment of Katie's WIP and Chat where she talks about neurodivergencies and that kind of like life hacks. No, I will not become the expert in that thing. Okay, you guys, we only have a few more colors left. I'm like, I can finish this and we can end the WIP and Chat. So what is coming up this week? So it'll be a lot of the usual suspects. I've got obviously the WIP and Chats going up today. And then I have an unboxing sneaky thing that is going to go up tomorrow, Tuesday. Drills and chills video on Thursday. I don't know if I'm going to have a sneak peek for Friday or not. I'm not sure yet. And that's totally fine. If I don't have a sneak peek, I'll probably grab another kind of unboxing to throw your guys' way. And yeah, I think my drills and chills video this week, I'm thinking of it being like a, because it's right, is that literally the last day? No, not quite. It's almost the last day of September. I'm thinking I'll make that be like a set of mini post reviews of my drills and chills kits that I've worked on so far. Like kind of a check-in on my projects, I guess. That's what I'm thinking for my drills and chills video content this week. I'm kind of just playing around with different ideas for what I want my drills and chills content to be. It's not, it's not always, I haven't really done like a WIP and Chat for drills and chills. It's kind of been more like it's an unboxing or it's a small shop thing or whatnot. So I hope you guys are enjoying that though. I got to talk about cross-stitch conversions this week. I'm so tempted to start that Loki conversion. I know a lot of you guys are wondering like, Katie, what's happening with the bigger cross-stitch conversion project? I know. I really do want to get back to it. I'm going really hard on drills and chills themed kits right now, and so I've found it hard to step away from these and get back into that bigger cross-stitch conversion project. But I haven't forgotten. I want to. I knew this was going to happen once I get into like drills and chills mode, that it was going to be like, well, cross-stitch conversion project's kind of on hold. But anyway, you guys, look, we're all kitted up. What do you think of the colors? Lots of those dark colors. And then I have a whole set of lots of dark colors, but bags over here that I'll have to refill some of these containers as we go. But like I said, I got a little excited with using some of these really big containers over here, so I had to get creative with lots of small containers over here. It's fine. But yeah, this is going to be Midnight Spell, 70 by 89 centimeters. I'm going to go pick out some matching accessories and take a start picture. I should be able to start this tonight, actually. Work on it a little bit while I'm waiting for this video to export and upload and render and all that. So yay, thanks for hanging out with me. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, let's do a cat emoji for these adorable kitties in this kit. I love it. It's gonna be super cute. Some kind of cat emoji. Thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. I hope that you have an amazing start to your week and that you are staying healthy. Thanks for hanging out with me during with my froggy voice here, and a second week of kitting up. Next week, I promise, whatever I have to do, even if I could have pulled out my cross-stitch conversion project, I suppose, but I will not be kitting up a kit next week. I promise I'll have something else for you guys. But if you made it all the way to the end and you're not already subscribed, you will probably like it here. So feel free to subscribe. It's just down here. There's a bell. You can just be notified when I share new videos and all that good stuff. So let me know how you're doing down in the comments and what you're working on, and leave a cat emoji if you made it all the way to the end. All right, my friends, have an amazing, amazing week. I'll chat with you in the next one. Bye.